Vivian, good friend, many years together. Yeah. So, and the winner is?
It's a man.
It's a man, okay.
The sentence, the observer is the observed. Can we learn how this is essential, if so, in spiritual inquiry?
We're addressing there, of course, the idea that there's, again, this duality, that what we talked about the reflective universe, that is, what we see looks different than, of course, than what we think we are, but it may not be. So who's creating this duality? What I'm seeing, says the I, is different than what I am. When the self, the one, is the focus, there is no difference. There is no separation. There can't be any conflict. But what does that mean then? That means we're touched by everybody and everything. And so for many of us, an important issue is we don't really have developed a sense of protection for ourselves. So when you watch something painfully, you become that pain, you know? There we have to differentiate between an adsorption, and an absorption. The adsorption means I allow it to come to me, I'm with it, but I don't take it in. The absorption means I take it in and make it myself. And so therefore, we often cannot see much of the world. It's too painful, and of course it's going to get worse as we see very often. So it's important to learn about that very healthy protection that's necessary at that level. There is no difference, but I'm not suffering because they're suffering. So it's an art to take in everything and be affected by none of it in a negative sense. Of course, touched, moved, but not using the pain on top of my own pain that I'm saving. Because here's the other problem we know for many years, that when you block the energy flow, you actually attract the exact same thing to it. You may have noticed sometimes in a little courtyard where there's a corner and no movement, that's where all the leaves gather. That's a cancer often in the body. So what you're holding, you attract. And the energetic reason is it's looking, there's no one doing it by the way, but energetically it's automatically built in to the field of wholeness, that when you become far enough in this process, it automatically comes out again. So if you're taking, it's like you eat something sweet. A little bit is fine. You take too much, what happens? Same thing happens with this. You take, and sometimes they have to cut it out. But the idea is that it's looking to complete itself. This is biological karma, psychological karma. So when you're taking and holding it, see, it means in a sense, I'm using it for myself, particularly using it against myself. I don't realize that very often. It's like you've made this pain some kind of gold. It'll never happen again. Yes, but you attract the same thing to you as part of this process of cleansing.
How come that we, I, am pendling back and forth between the heart I and the mind I?
Can there be two? Back to duality, no? What is the heart I? Could it be that the heart, in fact, is the center, and the mind is a shift away from that when I start to think? It's like going on an elevator upstairs. Now the question is, why do I go upstairs? So the inquiry would be saying, what is upstairs that's not downstairs? And if I found home, who's leaving home? That has to go and come back. Sometimes, you know, in relationships, we leave a partner to come back to them. Do we leave ourselves the same way to come back to something more essential? It can be a process where we begin a research. If I'm here, if I'm there, if I'm here, I'm there. But eventually we say there's no point in leaving. I had to come home anyway. But Ramana was often asked, Ramana, why can't you come to our country? And he said, where would I go? I'm always here. So once you found home, where else did you want to go?